What's up, guys? I know I'm filming from another part of my room, so that's why the background's different. I felt like changing it up. So, we already did the trilogy of Liberal Fantasyland, but this time we are specifically going to go to right-wing Fantasyland, and it is just as batshit crazy as Liberal Fantasyland. You know, I cannot stress that enough, that there are crazies on both sides. Both sides are getting more extreme as the years go by. The general population of liberals and Republicans are getting more radical as the years go on, and it just, I have to point it out. You don't see libertarians going batshit crazy and posting those ridiculous stuff. Actually, there are some radical libertarians. I did a video on that, but I'm talking about the vast majority of Americans, because only 3% of Americans voted for libertarians. But we're getting off topic here. So I like to troll people. Sometimes I go onto a page I'm a fan of. Sorry, tablet's doing weird shit. No, I don't want. Fuck you. Sometimes I like to go to Facebook pages or Facebook groups that I know that I'm in the minority of a certain viewpoint, and just post stuff and just watch people get triggered and just flip their shit and just go ape shit, that I dare have a different opinion than they do. So, for example, I'm a fan of the NRA on Facebook because I believe in their mission for the Second Amendment, and people should be able to hold guns. Now, I do know that I'm in the minority of who voted for Trump in that particular fan base, because the vast majority of people who are in the NRA voted for Trump. So when they posted something, you know, congratulations, Trump and Mike Pence are getting elected, whatever, you know, I posted, looking at my handy-dandy tablet here, Windows Surface. So, no, they didn't pay me to say that. I wish they did, but. So I posted, Trump is big government, anti-constitution, big spending, big debt, pro-drug war president, and you guys fell for it. Enjoy 4 more years of just absolute terrible policies and not solving the big problems. That's what I posted on the NRA Facebook page. That post triggered so many right-wingers. I'll put up all the links to the screenshots. I'll put the screenshots on my blog, which I don't use anymore, but it's just a cool place to share photos publicly. So just that, it was 2 sentences. No name calling, no insults, just stating that he likes these policies, these types of government, and it's stupid. And then that just triggered so many conservatives. You think that liberals only want to get triggered? No, fuck no. No. They both get triggered pretty damn bad whenever they see a viewpoint that they don't agree with. So half the people who commented on this thread, this thread went on for days. Like, I cannot believe that so many people, so many days after I posted it, thought that, oh yeah, let me comment on it, this is really important, which I guess it means it was a good post, but. So half the people just insulted me, they called me names. Let's see, one of the names they called me, shut the fuck up, liberal. I'm not liberal, but to them, everyone who opposes Trump is a liberal. Moron. I'm ignorant. Stuff like that, you know, so half the comments were just insults to begin with. They didn't even address any of my points and arguments. So I said, guys, refute my points, don't just call me names. If people are like, you need to attend a Kool-Aid meeting and soon. Why aren't you protesting with the other nut jobs? What a hand job. You know, blah, blah, you're an idiot. And I'm just like, guys, what are you guys doing? This is the worst way to argue. You're not even addressing any of my points, you're just insulting me. You're just saying stupid things, you know? And it's just like, your comprehension skills, your debating skills, where are they? They don't exist. You know, I was like, nice, Joe, just insult me without addressing any of my points and leave it at that. My points are too hard for you, so you got to insult? And then, and then they're saying, that he's not any of the things that I described him as. So what do I describe him as? Big government. How the hell is he not big government? Google it. He doesn't want to cut the military, Social Security, Medicaid, or Medicare, which take up the vast majority of federal spending. He's writing executive actions left and right. He's on pace to be more with Obama. How is that not big government? They don't think that he's big government. They think he's small government. Like, and Remember what I said, the Republicans have been saying that for years, that a small government, when they're not. They expand the government every single year, just like the Democrats do. They increase spending every single year like Democrats do. They don't cut Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, or defense spending. They just increase it every single year. You know, I say he's anti-constitutional. Although he's not anti-constitution. Look at the pieces of legislation that he supports. He supports the NDAA and the Patriot Act, which take away more than half of the Bill of Rights from the very start, you know? But these ignorant motherfuckers have never bothered to read the NDAA and the Patriot Act, which you can online. You can just look it up. It's all available, and you can see how it gives the government the ability to take away our guns, take away our freedom of speech, take away our freedom of assembly, put us in jails without access to a lawyer. You know, it's not fair and speedy trial. It's a secret military tribunal trial. You know, it's just like, this is not a conspiracy theory. You can just Google it. Does Trump support the NDAA and the Patriot Act? And you can see that he has said multiple times that he supports it. This isn't a crackpot liberal conspiracy theory. These people are acting like I'm just making up shit. It's like, it is all in black and white. You can access it, the tip of your fingertips, in a millisecond if you have internet access. And these people do because they have Facebook, obviously. You know, it's just like, you people are so ignorant. You have no idea what the policies entail that you support, and you have no idea what policies the candidates support that you support, and you just have no idea what your candidates are actually for. You just listen to their speech and they say a bunch of nice things about reducing government and reducing spending and getting things under control and make America great again and doing all these good things. You know, but you listen to their words, but you don't look at their actions at all. You know, so it keeps on going on and on and on and on and on. And again, they keep on insulting me, and none of them throughout this entire thread counter any of the points I just made about being anti-constitution, anti-big government, big debt spending. Like, when has Trump said he's going to balance the budget and get rid of the debt? He's never said that. He doesn't care about the debt. He doesn't care about the deficit. There's no way that he can balance the budget and get rid of the debt when he has said repeatedly, you can Google it, it's all right there, he's not going to cut military spending. In fact, he's going to increase military spending, and he's not going to cut Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare, which take up the vast majority of the federal budget every year. So if you cut every single other program except for those four, military, Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare, sorry. If you cut every single other program except for those four, that still wouldn't balance the budget, because those four programs take up such a huge amount of the budget. So when he says, I'm not going to cut these programs, that tells me he's not going to balance the budget, because he can't. He physically can't do it. So instead of addressing all these points, they're just like making fun of my education and my work history, you know, and then they're saying, sounds like a typical statement made with someone with a liberal arts degree. What the fuck does that mean? Criticizing Trump is now a liberal arts degree? Well, I can tell you a lot of people without liberal arts degrees who hate Trump, but that's beside the point. You know, I'm just like, good job, Dave. Again, I can't address any of my points. You just tell me to shut up. And I'm not a liberal. Try again. You know, it's just like, what the fucking hell are you people going on about? None of you, we're several top comments into this thread, and not a single person has countered any of my points. And there was this one person who actually said, let me see. She's like, wow, I definitely don't agree with you, but I'm sorry about the people attacking you and calling you names. Come on, guys. Stuff like this is the reason that people think Trump supporters are horrible. I'm just like, thank you. The one decent person on this thread who says, you know, I don't agree with you, but I don't support these people attacking you all the time and not addressing your points. And I comment like, thank you. That's all I'm saying. Let's try to have a conversation. Because you guys think that Trump is all these things that he's not. Yeah, obviously you have no idea what you're talking about, because everything you just stated is unfounded and spread by the media, and never once did any of those things come out of his mouth. Just Google it. Google, Trump said he will not cut Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare. Google, Trump will not cut military spending. In fact, he's going to increase it. Google, Trump supporting the NDA and the Patriot Act. It is all right there. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's not some liberal twisting what he said. It's everywhere. He said it. If you could hypothetically come up to and ask him, he would say, yeah, I said those things. Like, there's no reason to lie. He thinks these policies are good, even though they're bad, and it's just like, what are you people talking about? You think like I'm some crazy crackpot conspiracy theory, making up all these lies against Trump, these ignorant, unfounded views. I'm like, I am listening to what he says. And I was like, you're just mad that my points contradict your narrative and you don't know how to refute them because, again, through all these comments, no one has explained to me how he is not the things I say he is. If I'm so ignorant, then wouldn't it be really easy to contradict my ignorant views? But again, no one has. So now we're going on to the second day that's just happening. It's like, oh, you know so little and the world is so big. What? He's like, actually, John, I know exactly what I'm talking about. And then I threw out my credentials because I'm just tired of these people saying, oh, you're wrong. Well, why? Because you're ignorant. Why? Because you're wrong. Why? How? Explain to me. Actually, I know exactly what I'm talking about. I studied politics for 4 years on the bachelor level and for 3 years at graduate level. Again, no one is able to refute my points. This is now a week into the thread. I refute my points because they can. All you have to do is do a Google search. Does Trump support the Patriot Act? Does Trump support the war on drugs, etc.? And you will find statements by him giving exactly that. All the info you need is at your fingertips, but you never do that search. You remain ignorant, and that's the whole point of this video. These people are so goddamn ignorant, and they don't do Google searches to figure out if they're right or not. They just have a viewpoint like, yeah, that viewpoint seems good. I like it. And then they go with it, and they never fact check it, and they never look it up and see, oh, did he actually say this? Did this actually happen? What are actually policies? And that's how you have people thinking that Trump is going to balance the budget without cutting hardly any of the programs. Thinks that he's pro-Constitution, even though he supports policies that rip up the Bill of Rights. You know, it's just, it is mind-boggling. Republican Fantasyland does not exist outside. You can't go and visit it. It's in people's heads. It's a fantasy. That's why it's a fantasy. It's not reality. It's the world that they think exists only exists in their head. Liberals are the same way. They think the world works a certain way and certain policies are good. And it's like, in your head they do. I know, that's why you believe that. But out in the real world, it doesn't work. So we're going to wrap up this video by talking about the Trump blocking immigrants. That's a big topic on the news, so I have to talk about it, even though I don't particularly want to talk about it. But this goes in line with the same thing, that these people think that the Trump supporters think that this policy is really good and will keep America safe and, you know, keep the terrorists out and whatever. And it's just like, these people just are just so fucking batshit crazy. Like, okay, so let's run through exactly what happened. Trump blocked people from coming from certain countries, even though they already had like good visas. They did all the work. They have a legit visa. They have a green card, they have a work visa, whatever, you know, whatever type of thing they have. But nope, you're from a country, you can't come here because you might be a terrorist. That's why I'm against this policy, is because it is discriminating based on religion. The only criteria you're using is religion or appearance of religion, because even Syrian Christians were blocked. Okay, so you want to keep out Islamic terrorists, but you won't let Syrian Christians in? That makes perfect sense. You know, and Trump supporters are like, no, he was just blocking illegals from coming across, you know, against the law. I'm like, no, he wasn't. Where the fuck did you get the information from? Oh yeah, from your stupid fucking right-wing news source, you know, the only ones that you read. He's not just blocking illegal immigrants. No, it's completely wrong. He's blocking people who have green cards, who have visas, who have work visas, who have legit done the correct work and done everything correctly and done what they were told to come to this country, and they still got blocked because they're coming from a certain country. That's not blocking illegal immigration. That's not simply enforcing the rules that are already on the books. Now you're going to say, well, all these terrorists come over and they kill us, and so we have to keep them out so they won't hurt us. And it's like, so we're blaming the actions of a few, a very minority few, because there are so few terrorist attacks in this country. I did a whole video on this before, how stairs kill more people in this country than terrorists, yet where are people's outrages about stairs? Where are they protests about stairs? You know, no, we're protesting the few people that were killed by terrorists. So you can take the actions of a few and apply it to millions upon millions of people and say, because some people in your group did this, we're going to discriminate against you based on your religion, or country of origin, or whatever. Because, and I'm like, just flip the logic and look if Trump did that to any other group. White people, for example, white Christians, for example, kill thousands of people in this country every single year. Random gun shootings, you know, there's thousands upon thousands of deaths. A good chunk of them are white Christians. The exact percentage, I don't know, because they don't collect stats. They don't collect They don't collect stats based on religion about the murders in this country because it would make people look bad and it would bring uncomfortable truths out. But a good chunk of the people that are killed by white Christians. Now, they're not good Christians, but that doesn't matter because you take a bad Muslim and you still apply, no, he's Muslim, so this counts towards Islamic terrorism. So imagine if some president, like hypothetically not Trump because he would never do this, if some president say, you know, white Christians, they kill thousands of people in this country every single year. They are a menace to a society. They are terrorists. They're terrorizing us. We have to keep America safe. So we're not going to let any white Christians come into the country. And if you're a white Christian and you leave the U.S. and try to come back, no, you can't come in. That's using the same logic. You're saying because a few of you people do this crime, we're going to apply it to the whole religion or the whole demographic and say, nope, all you guys are being punished for actions of a few. You can see how fucking retarded it is. Do it against black Christians, the same thing. Do it against Asians, for any demographic or social cleavage you can think of. The logic is illogical. You cannot blame the actions of a few on the actions of the whole group because Muslims are not a monolith. They are not a hive mind that think as one. People think, oh, these Muslims are coming over to the U.S. and they're going to invade and they're going to kill us all. It's like, have you actually met a Muslim? I know most of these people who have all these views have never even bothered to meet a Muslim. You know, and I bet if you actually took the time to do that, you would figure out that, hey, they're human beings just like me and they just want to go to work and provide their families and be left alone. But they, in their little narrow minds, they view the Muslims as the other, the foreign other, you know, the alien that's going to kill them all. And it's just like, that's why the view doesn't make sense. People think, oh yeah, it's logical, just keep the bad people out. Well, you can't tell just by looking at someone what they're going to do. You know, you're going to say, well, all of the terrorist attacks in the U.S. were committed by Muslims. Well, if you define terrorism as when a Muslim kills an innocent person, then yeah, you're going to find that 100% of terrorist attacks are Muslim because you made that narrow definition. When a white person shoots up a school or shoots up a church, you know, that's not terrorism. When a Muslim guy, who isn't even a very good Muslim, he walks in a nightclub and shoots people, no, that's Islamic terrorism. White Christians kill so many people in this country every single year, but yet you never make policies that discriminate against them for the actions of a few people in their certain demographic, but it's okay to do that against Muslims. And it's okay to break the First Amendment because government cannot make policy based on religion, and yet this is exactly what it's doing. You're going to say, oh, not all Muslim countries are banned, so that doesn't matter. Just because you don't discriminate against every single person in a demographic doesn't mean that policy is not discriminatory. You know, like let's say there was a segregation policy and people didn't feel like enforcing it all the time, and they only did it against half the black people in the U.S. or only half the states did it, for example, and then you say, well, it's not racist because it's not discriminating against all blacks. But the logic these people use, the mental gymnastics they have to jump through in order to make their policy seem legit, is just absolutely absurd. And you should repeat it back to them, and you realize how fucking retarded it is. So that is why Trump supporters are retarded. That is why right-wing liberal fantasyland, that is why right-wing fantasyland is just as nutty as the left. These people have no basis in reality whatsoever. Their reality is in their heads, and they think these certain things. They think that Trump is going to fix all these problems and keep America safe, when if you just do a Google search, how can these people on Facebook, how can they make an email account to make a Facebook profile? Because a Facebook profile has to have an email address. So they can do all of that, but somehow they can't do a Google search. That blows my mind. These people are so goddamn dumb that they can't do a Google search. It's the easiest thing in the fucking world to do.